How's it going, everyone? It's Eli with Common Sense, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. I literally just recorded an entire video, or I thought I recorded it. I went through the entire breakdown of this fragrance and realized I did not press record. No! I wasn't recording that whole time. That's okay. We're gonna go through this again because this is an amazing fragrance that I want you to know about. So friends don't keep stuff from their friends, and I want to share with you a hidden gem fragrance that you can find for $20 that smells way more expensive and high quality than almost any other Middle Eastern fragrance that I've covered. So what is that? Stay tuned and let's check it out. So a little secret, I actually open up the fragrances from the bottom and I leave all the cellophane on top so that I can unwrap it and do that on screen for you guys because I know how satisfying it is. I got you. So Eli, what fragrance are you talking about? I am talking about Ayat's Jealousy. So Ayat is a relatively new Middle Eastern fragrance house that I haven't really found a whole lot of information on. I actually just stumbled upon this brand because I was looking for a Maison Alhambra fragrance that I was going to review, and I happened to find this one for $19.99 as well as a lot of their other fragrances, but I thought for $20, really can't go wrong. I was also really excited to try this because this apparently was a twist on Louis Vuitton's Matiere Noire. I think that's how you say it. So for $20, this box is actually a really nice presentation. You have a sturdy box. It's not gonna dent or jiggle around inside. And you have a really, really high quality box that lifts up. Oof, look at that bottle. So this is a really stunning bottle. It's got a very high quality looking glass and it has a kind of metal plastic base plate on the front that has Ayat Jealousy. And also the cap is a little bit cheaper. It's kind of a cheap plastic, a little bit metallic that kind of refracts the light, but it definitely looks good and it serves its purpose. And so when you're sitting this on your shelf, you're not gonna really notice that cap. So let's check out the atomizer. Look at that. Perfect even pressure. It's a pressurized atomizer and it has a beautiful puff of fragrance aroma mist that is going to cover your clothes and your skin very evenly, and I'm really impressed with that atomizer. I gotta say, this juice is magical. My whole room right now just smells like a Middle Eastern florist shop. It smells incredible. So Ayat Jealousy, just like the original Louis Vuitton fragrance, has top notes of black currant syrup and watery notes with middle notes of rose, cyclamen, narcissus, jasmine, sambac, and a base of agarwood, patchouli, incense, and benzoin. So a lot of different notes, but ultimately you're getting a beautiful, sweet, gourmand, aquatic floral here with a healthy dose of incense and a little bit of agarwood. I actually bought this one from Azenzia, which is a relatively new fragrance kind of distributor, and you can also find it on Perfumes USA for $20 US. So definitely a steal, and I'll tell you why. So right off the top, you have a blast of that beautiful black currant and rose. So black currant can come off a little bit tart, a little bit green, and even a little bit minty at times. But I think the rose and that black currant is a beautiful, beautiful combination, and kind of mixed with that aquatic accord, I think it smells ultra refreshing and floral and just perfect for the spring or the fall time. This also has cyclamen in here, which is a very clean and delicate kind of floral. It smells very similar to lilies, but it is also used in a lot of kind of retro men's and women's fragrances from the early 2000s, but I don't think that this comes off very old smelling. It doesn't smell like a grandparent or something that your parents would wear. I think this just smells very pleasing, and it adds a little bit of a nod to the kind of older school fragrances while doing it in a very modern kind of way. The jasmine comes out very creamy and velvety here and almost gives it a little bit of a resinous floral touch. This kind of reminds me of going out into the cold kind of rainy season and picking out a lot of beautiful florals, taking a lot of thought into picking these flowers for one of your loved ones. And it just kind of reminds me of the warm sun peeking through the dark kind of gloomy rain clouds. So I don't know why, but I just get the image of rain, maybe from the narcissus and some of the kind of earthy kind of florals in here, but I think this is very picturesque and it definitely is food for the imagination. Just a beautiful kind of sweet and a little bit more seductive quality once it dries down, because you lose a little bit of that kind of citrusy opening and you get more of a kind of creamy, velvety, almost cashmerean kind of vibe in the base, and it just smells incredible. So the oud definitely comes out a lot more once it settles down and dries down a little bit more, but it is not an animalistic oud here. This is a warm, soft, and powdery kind of woody oud. So it definitely adds a more delicate oud, but I think it is beautiful in this. Also, the frankincense, the benzoin, and the oud give it a slightly leathery kind of vibe, but it's an amazing muskiness that kind of comes out on the dry down. And also the benzoin comes off a little bit vanillic, resinous, and slightly nutty. It's kind of hard to explain. For some reason, whenever I smell this, it kind of reminds me of when you're recalling some of the best days that you've had. Maybe it was with your loved ones, maybe it was an old relationship, maybe you're just recalling some times where you were very happy, and this kind of does that. It reminds me of a slightly somber, slightly melancholy, but very important and impactful moment in your life. And I think when you wear this, you will be very comforting to those around you. Now, I wear this when I have a really stressful day and it makes me very relaxed. I feel like everything's gonna be okay. And I think that when you wear this, you will also have that quality to those around you. So wear this with confidence, and I think that people around you are going to be affected very positively by it. Ultimately, this is a 10 to 12 hour fragrance, so you get an amazing projection and longevity. It is very strong for the first 3 or 4 hours, and then it sits a little bit closer to the skin, but you definitely still smell it at that 10-hour mark at least, and it can smell and last even longer on your clothes. And the best part is, again, is it's $20, and I have to say this is in one of my top 5 favorite rose fragrances of all time, and that also includes some of the most expensive niche fragrances that I've had. Fragrances from Fragrance du Bois, fragrances from Electimus, all sorts of expensive houses, and this is one of my top 5 favorite rose floral fragrances. Go figure. I think this kind of teeters on that line between feminine and unisex, but as long as you love rose, you love incense and some beautiful florals, I think this is gonna be your next signature fragrance. Even if you're a guy out there, I would encourage you to check this one out and also explore some other kind of rose and floral fragrances. I've kind of noticed a trend in a lot of my friends that a lot of us guys are starting to seek out the more kind of delicate, musky florals. And so I think that that is going to be the next direction in fragrances, especially for mainstream kind of designer stuff. I think people are getting tired of the ultra masculine, like dark, toffee, kind of nutty men's fragrances that are kind of the clubbing fragrances. I think guys are gonna turn towards these kind of rose fragrances. So I think that's my next prediction. But for the guys who maybe not be ready for it, I think there is a little bit of the oud, the frankincense, and the other resins that will appeal to you. So I think this could be a gateway fragrance into that more kind of rose and floral heavy fragrances. So definitely check this one out. Haven't seen anybody talk about this on YouTube, and I think this is actually the first review on this fragrance. So haven't really seen any reviews on it at all. So hey, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing so you can find more hidden gems like this. Also, we're really close to 3,000 subs, so that would also be awesome. I'm telling you, get the stuff before people start finding out and before this sells out, because this is amazing stuff here. And that's Ayat's Jealousy. That does it, my friends. Thank you all so much for joining me. Please leave a comment down below if you've checked out any of the Ayat fragrances, because again, I know nothing about them. There's not really a whole lot of info. I just know that they are priced very well, and the quality, at least for this fragrance, is outstanding. So leave a comment down below and I'd love to talk about that. Thanks for joining me. I've been Eli with Common Sense, and until the next time, bye-bye. Sturdy box, it's not gonna dent or jiggle around inside, and you have a really, really high quality box that lifts up. It's not gonna dent or jiggle around inside.